and let's go ahead and get into it. So yeah, sports betting is an epidemic and gambling addiction. Let's get into this video.
For that crisis hasn't happened, but the last 5 years have given rise to a surge in young gambling addicts. Joe Rosillo, now 26, says his problem started in high school. Then in 2022, sports betting apps came to his home state of New York.
What impact did that have?
It had a big impact. I've worked my whole life, so I got a check every week, but it would deposit right into whatever app I was using.
Were you interested in the game itself?
I am a sports fan, but as the years grew on, you become less interested in the game itself and more interested in the result.
And who needs a bookie when a fresh bet is just a swipe away?
You know, you can wake up in the middle of the night, take your phone out, set an alarm for a match, maybe overseas or something like that. I would place a bet on anything, anywhere, at any time.
So let me stop it there for a second. I will say this is huge, because I remember a time where, you know, obviously we didn't have the sport books, right? You had to go into the casino, or you had to call a friend, right, to put in the bet for you or something like that. And, you know, before New York or any of these other cities, you know, were granted, you know, the sports book privileges, you know, people had to go down to the casino, right? You had to go down there, place your bet, or you had to go to like an OTB, which is an off-track betting, something like that. And, you know, it took a lot before, right? It wasn't as easy. So obviously with, you know, the sports betting apps like DraftKings, FanDuel, things like that, you know, Prize Picks, whatever it is out there that people are using, you know, it took a while before they became available. And so obviously, you know, as Ingman said, it's became more so about the outcome opposed to it actually being about the sports. And that's kind of sad, because like I said, I've been a long fan of sports. I mean, ever since I can remember. And you know, for me, it's been about the game. It's always been about, you know, having that excitement as far as watching your favorite star players play and go out there and ball out. And you know, it's sad, but it seems that's what sports betting has created. But we'll keep going.
At family functions, he'd delete the apps one day, reinstall them the next. To help get clean, a tech downgrade.
This is the phone I use on a daily basis. You can't gamble on this phone.
So not too many apps on that phone, huh?
No.
I think
went back
people
to
who aren't familiar might think of the typical gambling addict as, you know, the middle-aged guy and a windbreaker who's betting his retirement savings.
It's more prominent in the younger generation, I think, than ever. The sports books and the commercials and the leagues themselves are making it look so cool to gamble and risk your money.
There are distinct signs of trouble. According to a Siena College poll, which we can report for the first time now, of the young men wagering online, nearly half feel they're betting more than they should. In the 5 years since...
Wow. So, you know, when you have these kind of numbers, and when you look at the opportunities that are presented from a point of, you know, just from a point of accessibility, right? When you've got people depositing their whole paychecks into, you know, sports betting apps, and, you know, when you've created that atmosphere where someone can gamble 24 hours a day, that's something that can be very, very addictive if it's in the wrong hands. And, you know, that's why we're seeing what we're seeing now. You know, this kid had to downgrade to a flip phone. That's crazy to me, right? And obviously we talk about, you know, addiction and things like that, as far as, you know, how people understand that it's a disease and some people just can't help it. But, you know, at what point do you have to take some kind of accountability and realize, like, hey, like, it's not about the device. It's about you and your limits and what you're willing to push. And, you know, that's kind of why why I always tell people, you know, we always make jokes and stuff, but I always tell people, you know, never bet the house, right? Never bet the house, never put all your money on a game, never put all your money believing that someone's going to do something or nothing like that. Always do your due diligence and, you know, gamble responsibly. It's nothing different from drinking and going out there and having a good time. Just like you should drink responsibly, you should also gamble responsibly. But we'll get back into it.
New Jersey legalized online sports gambling. Calls to the state's problem gambling helpline nearly tripled. The largest caller demographic, 25 to 34.
This is a
25 to
public
34.
health emergency happening, and we're not talking about it yet.
Harry Levant is a gambling addiction therapist and leading voice on the public health impacts of online sports betting. A decade ago, Levant was a trial lawyer whose gambling addiction was so fierce he used client money to fuel his habit, leading to his disbarment. In his current career, he's noticed today's desperate gambler looks and acts a lot different.
I have patients who gamble in the shower. I have patients who gamble before they get out of bed in the morning. I have patients who gamble while they are driving. There are no guardrails. We scientifically know.
Listen, gambling while you're in the shower, gambling while you're driving. You know, I think this is the reality of it. And I'll tell you this, you know, I started seeing people. I knew that something was wrong myself personally when I started seeing people that I knew had no real idea as far as sports, had no real idea as far as players. But next thing you know, they're talking about parlays and they're talking about bets and they're talking about money lines and all this other stuff on Facebook and social media. And I'm like, this person has never talked about sports a day in their life. And now they're talking about 8-leg parlays and 16-leg parlays and all this other stuff. And I'm like, well, what the hell is going on? And it's really interesting. It's really interesting because, you know, we do predictions over here and all that stuff. But when I do my predictions, it's more so geared towards just, you know, potentially who we think or who I think is going to win. It's never in the sense of, you know, let me go ahead and drop this prediction because we're going to bet, or, you know, we're going to go out here and get everybody to put money on these games. It's merely for the fact of, you know, okay, this is who, you know, I think is going to win. This is what the information is. And then obviously we go from there. But, you know, it really makes me start to question as far as how I need to, you know, start changing potentially how I handle content, you know, because I don't want to be a part of such a problem. I don't want to be a part of the issue, you know, especially if there is a true epidemic going on, which is what it seems like. But we'll keep it going.
The human brain, the risk-reward system for a young man isn't fully formulated until you're 25.
Where are the young men getting the money to gamble like this?
I have patients, some of whom are college students, who have gambled federal student loan money. I have young patients who have gambled away inheritances.
Levant showed us what gambling today entails. It was an NFL Sunday, though on DraftKings, the betting options extended far beyond football.
Soccer, basketball, hockey, motorsports, rugby, volleyball.
And there was tennis.
Pedro Rodenas playing Alfredo Perez in a challenger qualifying match in Charlottesville.
Those are two names I've never heard before. Who is betting on this match? Two guys who are nowhere near the top 100.
So, yeah, I mean, you see where this is going. And, you know, I think the reality is this. I'll tell you guys a quick example of how crazy it's gotten. So back when I was betting last year, for those who don't know, I stopped betting last year. And it wasn't because, you know, of money. It wasn't because of it being a problem. I just said that, you know, I don't want to bet anymore. I don't want to put myself into a situation where I'm stressed out while I'm streaming these games because I got money on the line. And, you know, ever since then, my stress level has been down. I've been enjoying sports better and things like that. So that's one part of it. But one thing I did notice, what really, really threw me off, is that he's right. There's so many different games. And I remember being up late, you know, all the basketball's over, all the football's over. But at 1 a.m, you've got Korean basketball league going. You've got the Australian basketball league going. And you can bet. And some of these people don't even know who the hell these guys are or how good the team's been playing or any of that stuff. They haven't done any research, but they're looking at the odds and they're saying, you know what, I'm going to bet my money on whatever team, whatever international team. I don't know any other damn players, but I'm going to bet my money. You know, it's sad. It's really sad. And I feel for the people that have gotten trapped in this system because shout out to Chuck. He said, DraftKings won't leave me alone. With the emails, they want me to come back so bad, they're offering free money. And, you know, that's how they get you. You know, that's how they get you. It's no different from the casino. You know, You guys know I'm a fan of Vegas, but I'm a fan of the entertainment value of Vegas, not specifically the gambling part of it. But it's the same thing that casinos in Vegas do, right? You go out to Vegas, they give you the free food, they give you the free drinks, right? They'll even comp you a hotel. But they do all that to get you to come back to the casino, to get you to play in the casino, to lose your money. And they know the longer that you stay in Vegas, the more opportunities they have to take your money, right? You feel like you're going to get lucky. You feel like you're going to win. And they've taken that and they've bottled it into an app, into sports books. And it's really unfortunate because people don't understand that. People don't have the mindset for it. And it's going to be really tough. It's going to be really tough for some of these guys to break and really get through that cycle, essentially. So, obviously if you're having this issue, if you're having a problem with gambling and things like that, make sure that you do essentially, go get some help. If you need counseling, if you need therapy, seek it, because this is a big problem. It is a big problem. And, it definitely seems that it's becoming an epidemic, and, it's going under the radar in the guise of entertainment.